Okay guys, welcome back to Let's Play Final Fantasy VII. Last episode we escaped from Corel Prison, and this episode we're going to learn a couple new enemy skills and learn some old enemy skills for our second materia. Second enemy skill materia. Now, I am going to learn Beta again, so I have Cloud in the middle because he's the least likely to be knocked out of battle by the Midgar Zolom. And with an enemy skill we're going to get very shortly, and with the fact that we're now much higher levels, we don't have to worry about him and do all the same preparations that we did last time. Okay, so you want to get in the buggy, I guess is what they call it. Drive to this beach just, I guess this is just west of Costa del Sol, and just run along the beach, because there's a creature we want to encounter and manipulate here. Okay, and this is the creature. You can encounter Grand Glands on this beach, so you want to manipulate a beach plug. Now you can only use this enemy skill once, so you're going to have to manipulate two of them because Cloud and Barret are on opposite sides, and if you use this enemy skill with a creature, he can only use it once. So we're going to manipulate... Okay, apparently we're not going to manipulate. So I'm just going to off-screen until I can manipulate one of them. Okay, there we go. The first one's manipulated. So I'm just going to wait for his turn to come around. Not even going to attack anyone, just waiting for his turn to come around. Okay, there we go. Big Guard. We're going to use Big Guard first on Barret and Red 13. And Barret learns Big Guard. And now, he won't have enough... I can try, but I highly doubt he's going to have enough magic. Yep, all his magic is used up. So we're going to attack that one. That'll kill him. And Cloud should get his turn back, and he can manipulate the second one. Okay, so he's manipulated, so now we just have to wait a minute for Cloud's turn to come back up, which will be the manipulated enemy's turn. And we'll use Big Guard on Cloud. And Cloud learned Big Guard. And we'll take the third actually, Beach Plug. Big Guard is probably one of the best enemy skills that we can actually learn with the Enemy Skill Materia. And just to show you real quick, it casts Barrier, M-Barrier, and Haste on every ally. Now, the MP cost is high. It's our highest yet at 56, so it's even higher than Beta. But this is going to become a staple of my gameplay later in the game, especially with boss fights. The MP cost is high, but Barrier, M-Barrier, and Haste can make a difficult enemy much easier. Okay, so that's all we wanted to do now. We're going to head back to the Eastern Continent. Now just remember, we're supposed to go to Gongaga Village to continue on with the story, and that's where we will go after this. So to get back to the Eastern Continent, what you need to do is just drive into Costa del Sol. And we're just going to run up here. And just run over here. Back to the docks. Let's see. Talk to this guy who will offer to let us stow away for $100. Okay. So pay up and just run on the boat or walk on the boat. I don't think Rufus is going to go with us this time. And I don't have a fast forward mod, so I'm just going to cut out the voyage across the ocean. And apparently, they're still playing Rufus's tune. And just run up here, run to this guy, and we'll talk to him. A heli-taxi? Hell yeah, I need a heli-taxi. Yeah, I'm Air Force personnel. Why not? Yep. They're just gonna helicopter us out of the town of Junon. Pretty sweet. And we'll just hop on. And you want to say outside of Junon. As the very phallic-looking helicopter takes off. And look at that, we have our buggy right here on the eastern continent. Now, if you're doing the Fort Condor battles, you can do another one now. However, my stop is a certain spot that we couldn't reach earlier in the game. So you may have noticed earlier in the game there's a little colored section of the river that's different. Now, these are sections that our little buggy can... As I was saying, those are different sections that our buggy can cross over, and now we can reach this cave right over here. So let's go into it and see what's going on. I think that's supposed to be Snores. Let's talk to this guy, see what's up. Okay. So, when you go into this guy's cave, basically, he'll either tell you something about materia, he'll tell you how many times you've run away, or he'll tell you how many times you fought. Now, you see how he says, I fought 269 times. If you go in there, and the last two numbers, so the 10's place and the 1's place, are the same, so the next numbers for me would be 277, he'll give you Mythril, which we need for an item coming up in the not too distant future, I guess. So I'm just going to off-screen those 8 battles, and I will be back when I've fought 277 times. Okay, now real quick, I wanted to show this to you. You can encounter this guy as you're fighting your battles to get the item from the old man who's sleeping, or he can be found just generally on the plains of the eastern continent. And his name is Zemzalet. So you want to kill his minions, and you want to, if I could talk today, you want to manipulate him. Okay, so it's not going to go on the first attack. Hopefully the second time around it'll go. Okay, manipulate now. Of course, every time I try to show off a manipulation, it takes multiple times, but every time I do a dry run, they're manipulated on the first attempt. Okay. Manipulate. Okay, now he's manipulated, so we'll wait for Cloud's turn to come back up. Okay, and we want to use White Wind on all of our characters. And it missed on Barret, which is unfortunate because only Cloud learned the enemy skill. Okay, and I quickly ended that battle. It looked like White Wind missed Barret, however, he still learned the enemy skill. And like I said, so that was Zemzalet. You can encounter him in the plains after Fort Condor, between Mithril Mines and Junon. I encountered him while I was going through battles to get the last two numbers the same. Okay, so I fought the 8 battles I needed to get the 277 enemy battles, and now I'm gonna go in and talk to this guy, and he should immediately just start talking to me. Yep, who are you? I guess it was fate that you woke me up and met me. Mythril, and that is a key item that we will need for something later. And now if you talk to him, he'll say you fought 277 times. Now, you can continue on, or if you want, you can fight 11 more battles, or however many it is for you. If you go and visit him when the last two numbers are even, so for instance, the next two even, same numbers for me would be 88, 288, you can go back and he will give you a bolt ring. It's up to you if you want to do it. I'm going to do it just for completion's sake. So I'll fight those 11 battles and be back when I'm done. Okay, and I've fought my 11 battles to reach 288 battles, so we're going to go ahead and talk to him. He's going to say the same thing that he said before, but this time we're going to get a bolt ring, which I'm probably not going to use, except for maybe once or twice. A bolt ring acts, it's an accessory, and it acts like having lightning elemental in your armor. It nullifies lightning attacks. Like I said, I don't really offhand know of any bosses that use lightning-based attacks. I'm sure I'll find one or two in the game, and I'll use it then. So, it's just something that if you want, you can get. Okay, so right now we are going back to the Mithril Mines in order to learn the Flamethrower enemy skill, and that's also how we're going to get to the Marsh to learn Beta again. So I find it's easier to encounter these enemies if you go back to one certain area. Remember, it's Arc Dragon that you want to encounter. So you're going to run up here. And I find it easier just to run up and down here, because you have a much higher percentage chance of encountering one. And there he is, hanging out in the back. Okay. So first things first, you want to kill his friends on the ground. He's going to use Flamethrower. And right there, first one out of the box, uses it on Cloud. So Cloud has learned Flamethrower. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep him alive because I'm going to use him to bolster up our limit breaks. And the reason to build up our limit breaks is that we're going to have to fight the Midgar Zolom. We're probably going to have to fight him a second time after learning Beta again, and it's just easier to do if you have limit breaks. So I killed his enemy, or his friends, I should say, and now I'm just going to let him use his Flamethrower attack on various party members until he uses up all of his magic. And I can even try to manipulate him. I'm not sure if it's going to work though. Yep. So I will just let him hit me with Flamethrower, and when everyone has their limit break, I will rejoin you guys. Okay, and because I scrolled too fast through the end of battle information, you would have missed this. I just want to show you that Barret actually learned his level 3.1 limit break. I guess when he killed one or two of the enemies in that previous battle, he actually set off his internal amount of enemies to learn his next limit break. Either that or a glitch, because I haven't counted how many times I've used his level 2.1 limit break, so I don't know if I just haven't used it enough to get his level 2.2 limit break. So it's either I just haven't used the limit break enough to get his 2.2, but I killed enough enemies to get the 3.1, or it's a glitch. It has happened before. I think Sid is the last time it happened on someone during a playthrough, where he never learned his 2.2, but he learned his 3.1. Anyway, I'm not gonna change it to his level 3 limit breaks because I want his level 2, which you can see is full, to be able to be used on the upcoming boss battle. And I also, boss battle, Midgar Zolom, whatever. Also, Red 13 wasn't damaged by the Flamethrower from the Arc Dragon, and the reason for that is something that I thought I'd forgotten. The Fire Ring. So I'm gonna put... I'll put the Power Wrist on Red, and now I'm gonna give the Fire Ring to Cloud. And what that'll do is that will... it'll prevent the Midgar Zolom's Beta attack from killing Cloud. Okay, so now I'm just gonna run to the entrance to the cave. I want to get in one more fight just to build up Red 13's limit break now that I took the Fire Ring off of him. Hopefully he'll get attacked enough to build up the limit break. Okay. So, all three characters now have their limit breaks built up for when we have to get into a second battle with the Zolom, which is chilling right there. First things first, what I want to do, I'm going to use a tent. To completely cure or heal everyone. And just to make it easier, I am going to use tranquilizers, 2 on each. Just to cut down on the damage, because the Midgar Zolom still can do quite a bit of damage. And once again, we'll put him in the back row. And one of the last things I want to do for Red, to give him another attack, is I'm going to take the Transform Materia off and give him the Poison Materia. just as an attack. So I'm going to save real quick, and I'll be right back. Okay. So now that I've saved, I'm back, and there's the Zolom doing its thing. And I'm going to run across the marsh. I'm going to get as close as I can to the other shore. I'm not going to make it. And it's time for beta. And I'm going to show you just how much easier beta is. Literally maybe another 10 hours into the game. So first things first, enemy skill, laser. Second thing, enemy skill, big guard. Remember, laser is, basically it's demi. So it's going to have the Midgar Zolom's HP. It's going to knock him down to 2,000 HP. I'm going to use big guard just to boost our defense and put haste on us. And I'm going to have red 13. No, not summon. I'm going to have red 13 try to poison him. And I'm going to have... going to wait for him, hopefully, to cast beta. Okay, I'm going to have Barret use laser on him again. Which should trigger the use of beta. In theory. I will cast Bio, just to make it easier. Okay, he kicked Barret, so he should be getting used. He should be getting close to using Beta. Come on. Use Beta. Okay, he's going to use Beta. And we're definitely going to survive Beta, so he can have some Climate Hazard. Didn't even touch Cloud. Cloud learned Beta. And Climate Hazard will take care of the snake. And there we go. We learned Beta. We lost Barret with his Limit Break. So that is how easy it can be to learn Beta the second time around. And now that I'm so close, I'm going to keep running. And now I am safely on the grasslands. Because you can see, he spawned again. My dry run through this, I actually had to run from him the second time. So, now that we've learned Beta, I'm just going to take sadness off everyone. Where are my hypers? There we are. Now it's time to learn 2 more limit breaks. We're going to learn level 4 Suicide, and we're going to learn Chocobuckle. And if you remember Chocobuckle, what we have to do is we have to actually go back to the Chocobo Ranch. Okay, that was actually the Chocobo I wanted, but I didn't have any greens. So I'm going to run back to the Chocobo Ranch, and I'm going to buy some greens. Now, at this point in the game, you could purchase the stalls from Chocobilly and start your process of catching Chocobos and starting to breed the gold Chocobo. I'm not going to do that now because I'm going to devote, like I said, I can't talk today, devote an entire episode to catching the gold Chocobo and raising it. Breeding the gold Chocobo. I'm going to show you what Chocobos you need to catch, what you need to do, and so on and so forth. Okay, so now that I got the Mimic Greens, I need to encounter a Chocobo that is level divisible by 4. And I actually encountered one in that battle, but I didn't have a green to throw him. And just to make it easier, real quick, customize. I don't need the cornucopias anymore. What I do want is... Where is it? Mimic Green. Okay. This way I don't have to search for it during battle, so we're just going to run on the tracks, and we're going to wait till we get a Chocobo that is level divisible by 4. So, funnily enough, I was actually able to trigger the Chocobo using Chocobuckle. I forgot, however, he uses his attack on the person that casts level 4 Suicide. So I need to get level 4 Suicide on Cloud to get Chocobuckle. So I'm going to search for the Moo enemy to learn level 4 Suicide, and then once I learn level 4 Suicide, I can learn Chocobuckle. Okay, and here they are. Yep, the Moo. And it can be a pain waiting for them to use level 4 Suicide, so I'm going to try to manipulate them. Okay, took care of the Leprechaun. Manipulate. Okay, so I'm basically going to edit out the rest of the battle until I either successfully manipulate them or until they use level 4 Suicide. Okay, well that was easy. Just had to wait for him to use level 4 Suicide. They used it on Cloud, who was unfortunately divisible at that time by 4. So I just gotta go down to Cornucopia. Where are you? Cornucopia. Down here somewhere. There we go. So we'll cure Cloud of his small. And we'll use Blade Beam. So we'll take care of the Moos, and now that Cloud has level 4 Suicide, we'll be able to learn Chocobuckle for him from the level 16 Chocobo. Ooh, and that. Level 4 Suicide can be a devastating spell. Okay. So I will meet you guys now at the Chocobo tracks closest to the marsh. And I'll be back when I get there. Okay, so I healed up, and now I'm back on the train tracks closest to the marsh. And now I'm going to be looking for the Chocobo with the 2 leprechauns. And here it is, first one out of the box. So first things first, we're going to use red to use a Mimic Green on the Chocobo. And with Cloud, we are going to use level 4 Suicide, which should do a critical hit, which should cause the Chocobo to use Chocobuckle on Cloud. So we'll see how that works. Chocobuckle. On Cloud, so Cloud has learned Chocobuckle. Once again, it's not an enemy skill I ever really use. This is completely optional. If you want to learn it, you can. Otherwise, I'm really just doing it for completion's sake. Okay, so right now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to catch a Chocobo and ride across the marsh. I don't want to fight the Zolom again today, so I'm just going to get a Chocobo and go across the marsh, and I'm just going to show you how to get back into the ship and get back over to the western continent. And if you already know that, you can stop the video, because that's all I'll be showing today. I'm just going to catch a Chocobo, and I'll meet you guys back on the other side of the Mithril Mines. Okay, so I caught myself a Chocobo, I ran across the marshes, and ran through the Mithril Mines, and now I'm heading back to Junon in the buggy. If I could, okay, there it is. Now, if you don't know, you might be figuring out, wait, how do I get on the cruise ship? You know, because last time we got caught up as a Shinra soldier. So we'll just drive into Junon, and we'll just go through here and lower Junon. We gotta take the elevator up. And I will say, I used Barret's Limit Break once more, and I didn't get his level 2.2 Limit Break. I will probably try 2 more times, and if it doesn't learn, I'll just switch to his level 3. Yeah, okay, I'll give you the 10 gil to go up. hopefully I can remember how to actually get on the cruise ship. So we're just going to take the elevator up. Okay, and now that we made it up the elevator, we're just going to go out here. And we're just going to run all the way to the other side of Junon. The weapon shop, I already went ahead and checked, and they don't have anything new. So, I didn't think so. So we're just going to keep running into the next sections of Junon. And you can actually go down to the guard of the underwater reactor. You can't get in the reactor, but if you were to go down here, you can actually take the elevator down to the underwater reactor, but you can't get in yet. And I guess you can actually grind levels somewhere down there at this point in the game. Never done it, don't care, I'm going to be getting in enough battles later on. So just run all the way here. That's the guy who offered you the taxi to get out of Junon. Now we're just going to go through here. Yeah, like I said, I already went and checked the weapon shop and nothing doing. So he's going to forget us being stowaways if we help with the cargo. So all we need to do is just run back on the boat. And we're on the ocean again, and once again I will cut this out. Okay, and we've reached our destination. Ship's backing in to Costa del Sol. And we'll just run outside. And we'll be in our buggy. And the next portion of the game is going to take place in Gongaga Village. At least I think so. I haven't played ahead yet, but I'm pretty sure it'll be Gongaga. And Gongaga is south of here. It's an area that we couldn't access beforehand because it had one of those little crossings, like the sleeping man in the cave. But now we can cross out with our buggy. So I will see you guys next time, and as always, thanks for watching.